Welcome to Sim Civilization, a Sims 3 History Legacy Challenge, where I play at the very beginning of Sim history all the way to the modern world. Now, I'm not following any pre-existing structures or legacy challenges. This is something I've created myself. We are currently in the cave era and we are slow marching our way into the Neolith. So if this sounds like something that you'd want to watch, please join us. Susu! Hello everyone, and so we are now at the start of Gen 4. Yes, our little baby was born. If you were with us last week, Opal was pregnant, very heavily pregnant, and she has given birth to the 4th generation. Now, Veet is the half-brother of Ivor, who is also the half-brother of Drogar, Veet's father. So it's created a very confusing family tree, because if you go under Opal, Veet technically constitutes as a Gen 3. He does. But if you go under his father, he is technically a Gen 4 because his father is Gen 3. So it makes Veet kind of the half-brother uncle of his sister Ivor. Very strange. But you know what that means? He is officially Gen 4, which means we have officially unlocked Gen 4. Now, if you were with us before, you would know that part of the generation challenge is every time a new generation is born, we get to unlock a new key aspect of building civilization. And so what are we getting with our new generation Gen 4? We are getting agriculture. Yes, we are getting agriculture. We are getting the ability to farm, which is going to be so exciting because I really view that as the genesis of humanity. So this is kind of cool. His grandfather, Drogar's grandfather, Veet's great-grandfather, Tarsim, who was the OG original Sim, was a massive collector. He was constantly going around collecting. That's why we have so many collectibles. I think it's very, very lovely. It decorates our map in a very unique way, but he was an OG collector. And one of the things he collected a lot was seeds, but he didn't know what to do with them. He didn't know what they were. He just thought they looked nice. And so he would decorate his lot with seeds. And now I love that Drogar is looking at them going like, what are these? Like, what are these? We use them to decorate, but what are they for? And the thing is, all these seeds are actually quite high on these like Sim gardening aspects. So we can't really plant them. So they're kind of like this anomaly. They're not a gem, but they're not food. What are they? So I kind of love that aspect. They have all these seeds, but they don't know what they are and they don't know what to do with it. I think that is kind of a cool gameplay aspect. But let's see if we can go find some food that he can maybe actually plant. So he is going to go to the fertile fields. And if you remember, this is where we built our Stonehenge, which I kind of like. I like that there's this cool area of the map with a nice Stonehenge to go check out. Now, his brother cannot come with us if he's going to carry a baby. Do not bring the baby goat. We don't need the baby. Jesus. All right. He is here. This is his first time ever harvesting. You have to remember, he's about probably 18 years old in this game at the moment. He has been in the Ice Age his entire life. He was born into the Ice Age, and only very, very recently has the Ice Age ended. So this is his first time harvesting food. And could you imagine how exciting it would be to find fruit for the first time? Like fish is nice, but imagine you've eaten fish for every meal, every day of your entire life. Like their breakfast was fish, lunch was fish, dinner, fish, midnight snack, fish, like fish everywhere. So imagine how exciting it would be to find fruit. It would just be incredible. And the thing is, the fruit is very, very, very hard to plant because again, all this fruit is about a level 7. And I did that intentionally. I built all these lots for them to be able to go harvest from because I wanted them to be able to have harvestable food. So when I was editing this map, I made sure to have harvestable lots. However, the problem is that I wanted it to be difficult. I didn't want them to be able to jump in and plant everything right away. I also wanted plant diversity. I knew that if we had the same plant, all level 1 plants would give them a really limited diet. So I have put in plants that are very difficult to plant without a lot of skills. So I think it's just gonna add a level of challenge to the game. We are back at the lot, and it looks like Satil didn't really get a lot of fruit, so she is eating some fish. Goat didn't come with, he is still eating fish. But what is going on here? Oh, baby Veet, poor baby Veet. Baby Veet is about to wake up our whole little house. Someone, his mother, needs to change his diaper. Well, it could have been his father, but his mother's going to do it. She's literally in the tent right next to him. So she is going to go check on her baby. He's currently waking everyone up with his crying. That's the problem of having no walls. See, I love the aspect that they all live in tents. I think that's a really cool gameplay design. I think that really adds a lot of immersion, but it also means when there's babies and they cry, they wake up everyone, which makes sense. Like if you're in a tent and a child cries, you're going to hear it. But baby is woken everyone up. And just for a little backstory about these three, that is Drogar. His father was Bam Bam. His father was Opal's pseudo-husband. He was polygamous. But Drogar has woohooed with Opal and has created Veet, the baby, and that other woman, Odd, is his actual wife. So the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Drogar has a wife and a sort of mistress, if one will, and illegitimate baby, and he's about to have another baby. So a lot of drama in this house. We'll see how that ends. But I think everyone should go to bed. It's not too late. It's like 9 p.m. But if you'll notice at the bottom of the screen, it is a full moon. And if you know anything about full moons, which I think we all do, it means nothing but trouble. Nothing but trouble will go down with this full moon. So I am going to put them to sleep, and hopefully we can just get through the night nice and peacefully. All right, the zombies are here. I would love your feedback. Do you like the zombies? I've kept the zombies in. Not necessarily for realism, but because I kind of like the idea that there was a predator in the world. Like, if you look at our history, so many things wanted to eat us or poison us or kill us. Like, the world was very dangerous for early humans. But there's nothing that really wants to kill these things. So I thought zombies could be cool. Now we have a problem. You know how I was talking earlier about no walls and waking up because of the baby? The baby's woken up, and now he has woken up the entire tribe, and now they're out of their tents, and we are now having these zombies come in our direction. Oh no. Okay, Satil, no. No, Satil, too. You're too iconic, Satil. You're the baby mama with the drama. Okay, she's safe. And I think she's rizzing. Is she rizzing? So on point for Satil. Opal, please. You're a mother. You're a young, soon-to-be elder mother. Okay, I think she's good. She's safe. There, just get in your tent, and you should be safe. And hopefully we can avoid. I think everyone else is pretty okay. This guy doesn't even care. He doesn't even want Drogar. He had one look at him. He's like, nah. All right. So next morning they've eaten. They're nutritioned, and let's go get some. I think it's time to go get some more food. I was thinking, because all this food around here is pretty raw, and so I have noticed something with Sims, and I think it's kind of cool. With Sims, if they eat raw food, it only satiates a little bit of hunger. So if they eat eggplant or if they eat some fruit, it satiates a little bit of hunger, but not a lot. Enough that they won't starve, but not a ton. But if you take that exact same food and roast it over a fire pit and they eat it, it will fill the entire hunger bar. And it actually got me thinking about human evolution from a biological aspect. Evolutionary biologists think that one of the things that made us so smart was our ability to cook food. See, the human body, when you eat raw food, it actually requires a fair amount of calories to burn and process that food. So if your entire diet is raw food, your body's going to be actually burning a lot of calories just to break down the food. But when it comes to cooked food, it actually requires significantly less calories to break down and digest a cooked meal. So they believe that our primitive ancestors, by cooking meals, inadvertently meant that they had an extreme calorie surplus. And that calorie surplus, they believe, began feeding their brains and allowed for more advanced brain development because the body was able to get and acquire a higher level of calories. And I kind of like that for Sims. But now it's time for something really exciting. Odd, beautiful Odd, lovely Odd, is having her first child. This will be the first legitimate child of Gen 4. But this is baby number 2 for Drogar. So she is trooper. She is in the rain. She is wet. She is outside. And she is birthing this child. So let's see. And we got a girl. Oh, hooray, we got a girl. I'm going to name her Parfenium. I want to give you a fun little backstory about their name. So Veet and Parfenium are actually named after waxing strips. I was looking around my room when I named them, and I was like, what do I name these children? And I saw a box of wax strips on my dresser, and I said, Veet, what a good name. And I looked at the ingredients, and one of the leading ingredients was Parfenium. And I said, what a beautiful name. An incredible name. So that's how they got their names. I just have a habit of naming them terrible things. I am the worst at naming them. Now, when it comes to traits, I didn't want to go with the statistically similar one where I always do loves the outdoor, good person, loves the outdoor, good person. I want to do something different. So I made her a genius. But I also made her a heavy sleeper. And I'm hoping that she can start sleeping through her brother's crying because everyone wakes up constantly. So I'm hoping I can set this child up to be able to sleep through a lot of crying babies because that would be honestly helpful. Now, speaking of babies, if you've been here before, you know that due to my custom content, we've been having a lot of issues with the babies corrupting and glitching. It's going to take a few videos before I finally fix the issue about the corrupting babies, so bear with me. Now, we are back on the Goth household. The Goth house is quite cool. We haven't actually played them in a while. We've been mostly focused on the Caps, the Tharios, and now the Calientes because there's so much drama in the house. There's just a lot of them, and there's a lot of drama. The Goths, actually, believe it or not, very peaceful. They start the drama, but they actually aren't the drama. Now, this is Tor's first time ever harvesting plants as well, because you have to remember, he grew up in the Ice Age. And I'm hoping around here, I think there's just a lot more easy plants to harvest. So part of the lots is there's different levels of plants at different areas. So I think this one has a lot more lettuce. It does definitely have more like watermelons and mushrooms, which are a little bit higher, but they're not as high as fruit to plant. So I'm hoping he can find some really good base level crops so we can begin the agricultural revolution. So we can't begin the agricultural revolution without having gardening skills. We can't get gardening skills without finding crops that we can plant, which I like that challenge. I like that it requires quite a bit of math hunting to find the food that you actually need to plant. It's been making the gameplay more engaging, which has been fun. But we are back at the lot, and he is eating, for the first time ever, fish with, wait for it, garlic. Could you imagine being the first person to serve garlic? I love garlic. I think most of you watching love garlic. It is so good. But we are back at the next day. It's another day of him going out and trying to find more plants that he can harvest. This, I think, is the mandrake root. I love that they can eat mandrake root. I think it's very, very realistic. I think their diets, when they eventually hit the future, will be very, very different. But if you think about human history, most of Europe didn't have potatoes. Australia didn't have potatoes. Like, most of the food we associate now that we eat was domesticated over thousands of years. Something a lot of, like, things our early ancestors probably, it was like roots and tubers and stuff like that. And so I love that early Sims eat a lot more mandrake root and all these strange little things mixed with fish or roasted over a fire. Now, oh my God, he found a seed and he knows what that seed is. That's, gosh, that is all come together. It's all come together, gang. He's identifying plants. And he found a cute harvestable mushroom on his own. That's so cute. All right, he's gonna go home. And now I wanna show you something. If you have noticed in the background of this video, there is a little farm that's sectioned off. I kind of thought, do I just randomly plant this farm? But I don't. I want to have it kind of cute, a little aesthetical, kind of locked off, kind of organized. I have a plan for it. So he is doing something crazy. He is planting the first plants in Sim history. Here it is, documented on raw footage, the dawn of the agricultural revolution. And I was having a thought about this. I didn't want to start the gameplay with planting and farming because it changes the gameplay so drastically. When I started the caver, I wanted them to have the freedom of fishing and hunting, and the gameplay is very different. When you don't have plants, you tend to spend a lot of day fishing and also just collecting collectibles, and it's very random. But once you have a farm, it's a lot of responsibility. The freedom of the gameplay of going everywhere you want ends. It becomes a real job because if you're farming for a family, you're farming constantly. It's a nonstop job. If you're trying to feed grandparents and children, you're farming 24/7. All right. This is his birthday. He is officially about to become a young adult, and I am so excited for that. So we are about to have another young adult. They're all becoming adults. It's so exciting. And this is the first one in the Goth household to become a young adult. Now, I'm going to talk about his traits. He has terrible traits for the Paleolithic era. Like, if this was modern world, they have great traits. He's just became a computer whiz, useless. He's a born salesman, also useless. He's a sailor, kind of pretty useless. But what's going on in this beautiful field of bushes, of flowers? Ooh, a new Sim arrived. Who is this lovely red-headed woman? Her name is Cleo, and she has wandered onto our map. Yeah, she has separated herself from her tribe because she was the drama, yes, essentially. And now she is lost, and she is meandering, and she's looking for some new Sims, and she's looking for food and fresh water and shelter. So she is looking for some civilization, and who does she find but the Goths? And they're pretty nice. They're like immediately taken in by her. They like her. They think she's got a good attitude. She's kind of funny. Tor's got an idea for her. He thinks she's okay. He mostly agrees with her. Like, she seems nice. This is his first time meeting a woman who, again, he's not related to, which, as you know, is usually the hallmark of a good relationship, not being related to them. Sims have a thing where you can't really date your relatives. I found out because I'm a little playing ahead in this game. You can date your third cousins though, which I don't know how I feel about. I think that might still be a touch too related for me. But right now, he has found this stranger and he likes her, and they're getting along. So it's pretty good. Cleo's a gardener. I think she's family oriented. She's all around a good Sim for this era. And I did make sure to give her green thumb because I thought, okay, we're gonna start doing Sims, and I do create the Sims that come and enter the world. I want to give them fun traits, but I want to give them useful traits. So she is a gardener, and her goal is to pick up 3 seeds, which is a good trait. Now, I love storytelling. I fundamentally love the ghost story aspect. I think it's a really fun part. But also, I think, harken back to our history, like verbal oral storytelling was such a crucial role of our origin story. Like, we were so into storytelling. It wasn't even a joke. Like, oral tradition is so important. And our Sims in this world don't have anything that should constitute as fun. Like, their fun meters are almost always at 100, but they don't have phones, they don't have toys, they don't have games, they don't have TV, they don't have books, they don't have anything that should constitute as a reason to be happy. But it's all their social interactions, their storytelling, their fishing, their gardening, their weird conversation, their playing games. It keeps their fun meters very high, and I really like the authenticity of how I feel that really translates. Because by not having jobs or tough skills, they actually inherently are way happy. Like, their day-to-day life keeps them very happy. Now, Tor is back to the garden because this is the first time he has to do the weeding. And that's what I was saying earlier before his birthday. that when you change from playing cave era to agriculture, it just changes the gameplay aspect so much. Because if you're growing food for grandparents and children and all your siblings, you have to grow quite large farms because, they need to eat 2-3 times a day over a fire pit, and you're eating 1 to 2 plants a day. So you need a lot of food. So we're going to try to get everyone gardening. So she is hungry, but she can probably eat some of this. This field has a lot more plants that they can grow. All these are eggplants, grapes, a lot of lettuce, mandrake root. So this is kind of where I put the earlier farmables, things that they can grow more easily. So if we're going to get the girls to do some harvesting, and then we're going to get them planting. And now if you'll notice, the parents aren't joining in. I talked about this last time. I kind of like the idea that there's these generational divides, that the older people tend to not be as involved in these new things. Like you've noticed, they haven't changed their fashion. Renee still has the same fashion that she did always. So does Pebbles. They don't really change and jump and do things that the young people are doing. Like for them, for the last 18, 20 years, they've been eating nothing but fish. So why would they change the farming now? Where the young people are like, oh, this is incredible. And like even Labubu, blessed Labubu, is going out and finding seeds so she can join in gardening. So I love the aspect that there is this generational divide that will constantly be changing as generations go on. She is gonna plant those. Now, how cute. They are having a little cuddle under the stars. I love that as a gameplay aspect. I love that they're slowly meeting each other, slowly introducing, they're slowly getting to know each other. There's like maybe a little bit of romantic tension between the two of them. Will they, won't they? Will they, won't they? I think they're very cute. We are back at them doing some farming. So I've kind of have a little plan. So if you look around, I actually have sectioned this farm off into sections. So I kind of have the eggplant section, I have the lettuce section, I have the mandrake root section, and in the back I have also done the fruit tree. So they can't grow things like plums or cherries, pomelos, which I love, but they have found apples. And if you know anything about Sims 3, you'll know that the apple is a Sim level 1 gardening skill, so they can definitely grow apples in this game. So I kind of thought the back of the lot will be apple trees and orchards. Eventually, my eventual goal for these Sims is to have orchards. I think orchards just sound really cool, and I think it just makes such a good snack, and it's so healthy. And I think we would have definitely eaten a lot of fruit. And something I'd like to say is that, weirdly enough, like they've been from such a carnivore diet. Like during the Ice Age, all they ate was fish. They were 100% carnivores, and now with the advent of farming, I think it's going to lead to a much more actually vegetarian diet. Like they'll definitely still hunt and eat fish, of course. Like that's not going anywhere. Like, but it'll just mean that 1 or 2 of them has to go off the lot, fish for 8 hours for the group, and divide up a little bit of fish. That breakfast they can have fruit, or they can roast mandrake roots and eggplants over a fire, and dinner maybe a little fish and a little roots. But if someone isn't very good at fishing, there's always food on the lot, which means they've gone from a very carnivore-based diet to a much more plant-based diet. And I kind of like that as a change in their culture. I like the idea that every time something is unlocked or evolved, it actually fundamentally changes their world. I didn't want to just be like, oh, they now have these things. I wanted to show how the world changed with the advent of all these new little skills. Now, looks like these two are getting very flirty, which is a very good sign. I was hoping it'd go this way. As their lord, I was hoping that I could move them into being a little bit more romantic. He's going to massage her. He is going to hold her hands. I'd like for them to kiss. I don't think they're there yet. We'll do a little more woohooing and massaging. I would like to say something. I've been playing Paralives Early Access. I love the game. I really like it. I think it's a very fun, very cool game. But I will say their romantic interactions are very difficult. Like you really have to build up a relationship, and it doesn't always work. And it's very, very subject to the other person's moods. Where Sims, I find you can get married within 8 hours of meeting someone. And I kind of like that for the drama of a gameplay aspect, that it allows a lot more woohooing, a lot more cheating, a lot more craziness. So I do still love the Sims 3 romantic interactions, but Paralives is very good. It's just a side tangent. But what's going on here? Oh, cute. They had their first kiss, which means they are now romantically involved. Yes, we've done it. We have done it. They are now romantically involved, and agriculture has been unlocked, which is so exciting. And I think, Simmers, I'm gonna leave it here for now. So if you like this sort of video and you like this sort of content, thank you so much for watching. I actually upload videos fortnightly every Friday. And if you wanna watch Still Civilization grow, please follow along, like and subscribe. Susu.